We're going to talk about digestion. When we actually get into the details of it, we'll have it in three separate videos. So it's the three separate videos that you see attached to this. But before we can do that, we have to talk about it fairly generally. What organs do you have doing what, things like that. Then we can get into how do you digest and absorb your carbohydrates? How do you digest and absorb your lipids? How do you digest and absorb your proteins? So those will be the three following videos. So we have what's called the alimentary canal. That's the main parts of our digestive tract. That's everything starting out. We have the mouth. We have the back of the throat, the pharynx. We have our esophagus. And we'll talk about each of these and what happens in each one as we do the particular carbohydrate, fat, and protein digestion. We have the stomach. We have the small intestine. That's where we absorb most of our nutrients. We'll talk about it a lot. We have our large intestine. And that's where we absorb vitamins, water, electrolytes, things like that. And the small intestine, depending on what we're absorbing, we might be going to the bloodstream, we might be going to the lymph system. The large intestine, we're typically going to the bloodstream. Then we have the anus where waste exits and everything. So that's our alimentary canal. So these are the organs and everything that we'll be talking about as we have the discussion of the individual macronutrients. So we have some other accessory structures also. So we'll talk about those as well. We have the pancreas. The pancreas is where a lot of the enzymes that we're going to talk about and other molecules besides enzymes are made, and we're going to release them from there. We have the liver. Liver has a lot of functions. You're going to see the liver doing a lot of things with metabolism. We're going to see a lot of trends when we talk about where's this reaction, this or that process happen, awful lot of them in the liver. Tucked in right under the liver, we have the gallbladder. So we'll talk about what it does too in terms of digestion and reactions and everything. So we have some functions to our digestive tract, and we need to talk about those. First one is intake. We take our fuel, our nutrients in. We do that by eating. And in the subsequent videos that we're going to do, we're going to talk about you ate this, you ate that, you ate some pizza, you ate a ham sandwich. So you got carbohydrates from the bread, protein from the ham, things like that. Secretion is going to be big. We're going to talk about what we secrete from where. We secrete enzymes. We secrete them from different structures, but you're going to hear us going back to the pancreas fairly frequently with that. We secrete mucus. We don't think of the mucus quite as much, but we need to move everything through the digestive tract. We need to reduce the friction. So that's the job of mucus, to reduce the friction as we move our food, our fuel through the digestive tract. We need to mix. So another function is mixing, propulsion, peristalsis, things like that, mixing everything as we move it through the digestive tract. We're going to do digestion. Of course, right? That's the one where we talk about. We have two kinds of digestion. We have mechanical. We tend to forget that a little bit because we're worried about our enzymes and our reactions and what we're absorbing where, but we have to chew our food. We do some mechanical digestion in the process of moving our food through the different organs too. Chemical digestion. We really spend the majority of our time on that. Then absorption. That's our whole point. We want to break everything down so we can absorb what we need from the food. So we're going to do our absorption into the blood or lymph, depending on where we're doing the absorption and what we're absorbing. Finally, excretion. We need to get rid of the waste products. We need to get rid of the parts that we don't use, can't use, defecation, basically. So these are the organs, and you'll see them in anatomy. You'll see them in your other classes and everything. These are the organs, and these are the parts that we're going to be talking about and mentioning in the subsequent 3 videos that we'll be doing. So we'll talk about what we break down where, what we absorb where, the molecules that we need to do that come from where. So we can keep referring back to this, and we'll use this diagram as we go through. So from here, go to the carb, the fat, or the lipid, or I'm sorry, the carb, the lipid, or the protein video, and work through each one individually. Then we'll come back at the end and pull the pieces together.